What's good, everybody? Harvey React back again. I know, been a while, but we back. So we finna just get back on our grind and see where that takes us. No, not real stuff though. I'm really sorry, like the lack of videos. I really had a whole summer to do it, and I don't know. It was like a lot of procrastinating. Like I did have days where I wanted to do it, but I don't know. Like I just got lazy. I got so lazy, guys, and I realized I've been letting you guys down, because there's a lot of you who watch me, not even just on YouTube, but on TikTok too. So for me, I want to sincerely apologize for those who've been waiting to watch new videos and stuff, or even TikTok clips. So we want to start doing better. So I don't want to let you guys down. And yeah, but yeah, really cool facts you don't need to know. Check it out.
Want to know something absolutely mind-blowing?
Yes,
there are
I
more
do.
possible QR codes than particles in the observable universe.
Wait, hold on. What is it?
There are more possible QR codes than particles in the observable universe.
Really?
You might have looked at a QR code before and wondered if we'd ever run out. But if everyone generated one Google unique QR codes every femtosecond, it would take 10 to the 6,078 years to run out of QR codes.
Oh my
Maybe let's try a
gosh,
different
bro.
visualization method.
There's that many
The
QR
internet
codes?
is huge, right? Wrong, at least in relation to the number of possible QR codes. The total data stored around the world is currently somewhere around 200 billion terabytes, or approximately
Whoa,
10 to
that
the
is
23 bytes,
more
which,
than
compared to 10
what
to
do you
the
say, particles?
7,111, seems small.
Why are there
but
so many
that's enough for every
codes?
person on Earth to have 24 terabytes of data all to themselves.
crazy,
Basically, there's just no way to visualize a number as massive as 10 to the 7,111. But I think it's safe to say that we will never run out of QR codes.
Yeah.
Boom, your mind has
It'll
been
only
blown. Now you have no brain cells. Anyway, you know ladybugs? They're one of the most popular insects, but it's not so simple. There are more than 6,000 known and described species of ladybugs, or Coccinellidae. For comparison, there are only around 6,640 species of mammals.
Actually?
Many ladybugs don't even look like what most people imagine ladybugs to look like. Some are yellow, some don't have spots, some are just entirely black, some are black with red spots, some only
I
have
didn't even
2
know there was a
spots,
black
and
ladybug.
much more. And even worse, they're not actually even bugs, which is why they're often referred to as lady beetles.
Beetles.
The average lightning
I
bolt
mean-
contains 250 kilowatt hours of power, enough to power an average US home for over a week. But they can contain up to 2,000 kilowatt hours of power, enough to power a home for over 2 months. The issue is trying to charge a battery at the speed of literal lightning. But lightning hides another crazy statistic. Lightning is so powerful that it heats the air to nearly 30,000 degrees Celsius. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
Really?
I mean, we are talking about something that heats the air so quickly that it
lightning
generates a
comes from
sonic
clouds,
boom,
right?
so maybe that's not so crazy. A better way of harnessing free power is the sun. The amount of sunlight which hits Earth's land surface could power 1,185 other Earths, or rather human civilizations, since other things in nature also require sunlight. And of course that's also not taking into consideration that solar panels aren't 100% efficient and whatever. Anyway, you have a lot of cells, 30 trillion cells to be exactly approximate, but
Actually,
what's amazing is that those 30 trillion cells in your body is more than the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and more than the number of trees on Earth,
Really?
and more than the number of galaxies in the entire observable universe. That's crazy. But also crazy, or maybe just really confusing, is that you're currently living in your future. At the same time, what you're looking at right now is in the past. In fact,
I've actually kind of heard of that
doesn't
before.
even really
We were never really living in the present because life, because time just keeps moving. So each second, right now, we're in the future, and I don't know, I actually heard of that before. We're never really experiencing the present, in the moment, we're not experiencing it. because like we're always like ahead of the future, and like each, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Really exist. Say the present is right now. Well, in the amount of time it took for me to say now, you to hear the sound waves from me saying now, and your brain to process those sound waves into the word now, is a long time. But you're living in your future because you had a past. And because there is a past, there is a future. But what you're seeing is, well, everything is in both the future and the past. Every action you make is in the past. Everything you see is in the past. Every thought you make is in the past. But compared to your past, and simply because there was and still is a past, it's all happening in the future. How everything is happening in the past and the future simultaneously, but the present doesn't exist, I don't know. But speaking of the past, if you're older than 86, you existed before helicopters. If you're older than 80, you existed before computers. If you're older than 66, you existed before Hawaii was a US state. If you're older than 57, you existed before printers. If you're older than 50, you existed before digital cameras. If you're older than 45, you existed before laptops. If you're older than 43, you existed before the internet. If you're older than 40, you existed before the Titanic wreck was found. If you're older than 33, you existed before GPS. If you're older than 25, you existed before USB flash drives. If you're older than 22, you existed before 4K video cameras. If you're older than 21, you existed before YouTube. If you're older than 18, you existed before iPhones. If you're older than 13, you existed before the consumer drone boom. And if you want to see hundreds of other things that have happened in your lifetime, you should check out The World Since You. It's really cool. Anyway, the reason you're alive at all is because ice floats. Well, also because of many other reasons. Reasons that seem normal and not crazy at all, but if they weren't all designed perfectly, you wouldn't be able to live. There are so many things that have to work just right for you to live. If water wasn't the only liquid which is backwards and expands when frozen instead of shrinking, you wouldn't be alive right now. If friction didn't exist, motion would be catastrophically uncontrollable. If gravity didn't exist, you'd just float off into space. If your heart didn't control itself, you'd definitely forget to pump your blood. Like, for sure. Like, there's just no way you're gonna remember that. Okay, moving on. In the age of social media, numbers have lost their true value. We get a few dozen likes on a post and feel like that's a poor amount of likes. But if you change your perspective and realize those few dozen likes are a few dozen people who saw something and enjoyed what they saw enough to put forth effort to hit the like button, that few dozen suddenly feels much larger, especially if you visualize that amount of people. For example, my worst performing video on my channel, which ironically is my 100,000 subscriber Q&A, has around 350 likes. Comparing that to my other videos, that seems like not very many people. But imagining myself in a crowd of 350 people who apparently like the way I talk and look and stumble over every word that comes out of my mouth is really quite insane, and being unfathomably introverted is basically my worst nightmare. This is why I can't have nice things. Anyway, have you ever been to a hot spring and seen those vibrant colors? That's not necessarily just minerals. As crazy as it sounds, there are tiny microscopic living organisms which not only survive, but thrive in boiling or near boiling water. These are known as thermophiles. The colors come from either the pigments the thermophiles themselves make, or from the minerals that they precipitate. And time to blow your mind some more. Everything you do is affecting the environment hundreds of kilometers away, almost instantly. A person waving on Earth can be seen all the way from space. That means you affected light which bounced all the way back into space. Everything you do is affecting the trajectory of light, producing sound or something else, which may be so slight that you don't notice it, but it's happening nonetheless, and it's affecting the environment all around you. And something which seems simple, such as talking, isn't just talking. It's precisely controlling air, something you can't really even see, hundreds of meters all around you, which is pretty crazy to think about. Hello, fellow procrastinator. Yeah, who's watching who? I'm Dana Roberts. I run the entire Blender Timer business all by myself. And it's not just YouTube videos. For nearly a decade, I've set to work creating and distributing thousands of completely free resources that everyone can use. From stock images, music, videos.
Alright, well, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below what else you want me to react to. And also, check in the description. I'll have my TikTok linked in if you want to go sub to that. But yeah, It's good to be back, and I'm out. Peace.